middle MAGA.
I'm very upset at Lauren Boebert. So you see what happened so far. She got kicked out of a theater. Then she replied on Twitter and she was like, haha, I was just singing along, basically paraphrasing. I'm just singing along with the song. And it was kind of, you could kind of see that was a problem because she didn't say, at least on that tweet, like, I wasn't vaping, I wasn't wilding out. She didn't say that. She was just like, oh, hee hee hee. And then her spokesperson did say, oh, well, Lauren Boebert, she wasn't vaping or doing anything like that. So let's see what really happened.
What really happened?
Boebert. Say it 3 times and she appears in security video from a weekend performance of Beetlejuice, where the Congresswoman was kicked out of the theater for being disruptive. The DCPA says she was vaping. Boebert's team denied that, said the haze was from fog machines in the show. That claim goes up in smoke when you see the video. The pregnant woman sitting behind Boebert told the Denver Post she asked her to stop vaping, and Boebert refused. Her one-woman show continued, taking flash photos.
Who the hell takes flash photos nowadays? What the hell? She's acting a damn fool.
Raising her hands and dancing, often the only one clapping or standing up in the crowd. Boebert occasionally took a break from being disruptive to enjoy the company of her male companion. He briefly had a grasp on the situation.
Now, I didn't want to bring him into it. Oh, I didn't want to bring him into it. I don't have a problem with, my bro was trying to get some in. So he was probably pissed off. Because now she got kicked out she got kicked out the club. So now she gets kicked out the theater. And bro's like, okay, he's going to try to reset the mood. This is the old, I can't see. I'm not going to hate on bro for trying to do that. Let's just say I've had a newfound respect for Lauren Boebert's appearance. I never in my life looked at Lauren Boebert in any kind of way like this until, we'll get to that later. So I just want to be honest with you and acknowledge that I don't know that's not the point of this part right here is not the part of my criticism.
Companion. He briefly had a grasp on the situation before ushers returned.
That means he grabbed a boob. That was kind of funny. He recently had a grasp. I think her male companion had a hold on the situation.
On the situation before ushers returned and told Boebert she had to leave. The theater's incident report says Boebert pulled the "Don't you know who I am" card on the way out.
Then she pulled the "Don't you know who I am" card? You're in like Denver. I think this is Denver. You're in Denver. Do you know who I am? They probably gonna lock you up like they try to do Trump. They don't like you in Denver. Maybe she's in with them. I don't know. I'm gonna sidetrack for a second. Did she get work done on her assets? Have her assets always been that big?
Giving theater
My Lord.
employees.
Did she get something done? What is going on? She's got some missiles up on top. I've never even noticed that before. Is that work? When I saw this online, I swear to you, I said, I saw this from Dom Euchre. And I was like, did you alter that picture? It doesn't appear to be altered. I know I'm off track. It's the elephant in the room. I don't know how I can't ignore this. My goodness, they're bigger than her head. Each one. What did she do? What kind of work did she get? Did she get a BBL in each boob? What is going on? Well, she could use, I don't like the BBL stuff, but I mean, she could, I would take some, I'm not a boob guy. I would take like half off the boob and put them for the figure. But that was one of the biggest parts of the story. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know she must have got some. I've never seen. They're about to pop out and just be out. It looks like they're being restrained by the dress.
The single.
That's the biggest story. That's one of the biggest parts of this story. I'm not going to lie. I am going to get into the serious part here in a second. But so she's acting a fool. You saw that. She's vaping. The pregnant woman behind her. It's just annoying when, have you been in those events? You kind of like, okay, Back in the 90s or even the 90s, definitely in the 80s, everybody was smoking. It wasn't even, you went home smelling like smoke. And now that it's restricted, you kind of get used to just not having to deal with that. Even though the vape is different, I don't have a huge problem with it. But if you're at those events and someone's vaping, you're like, "Ooh, this is a little weird." So I don't have a problem with the woman saying,
That claim goes up in smoke.
"Can you just, the woman didn't look like she was doing anything wrong. She just said, "Could you stop vaping?" Could you imagine you see some big chested woman and you're like, did you get a boob? Is that Lauren Boebert? I didn't recognize you because your boobs are bigger than your head. And by the way, could you stop vaping? Is that too much to ask?
When you see the video. The pregnant woman sitting behind Boebert told the Denver Post she asked her to stop vaping. And
You realize you're not in the house. I know in the house that you and MTG call each other bitch all the time, and I don't know if you're vaping or not. Probably not because the cameras are there. But you kind of rule the house. You just walk around with this swag. You're not in the house.
Boebert refused. Her one-woman show continued, taking flash photos.
Now that's bitch made right there. So the person just asked you. I don't know what order this happened in, but they asked you to stop vaping. You continue to vape. And then you take flash photos like it's 1999?
Her one-woman show continued, taking
Do you not have night vision? What phone do you have? Is that your burner?
flash photos, raising her hands and dancing, often the only one clapping or standing up in the crowd. Boebert occasionally took a break from being disruptive to enjoy the company of her male companion. He briefly had a grasp on the situation.
They like doing that part.
Card on the way out, giving theater
Do you know who I am?
employees the single finger
A middle finger. She was acting a fool.
salute.
I mean,
Now,
she was
we're sparing
wild.
you the details of the more R-rated behavior Boebert and her friend engaged in. You can find that on the internet if you zoom in on some of that surveillance footage, if you're interested. At the
I am interested, but that's a sidetrack. I'm not happy with Lauren Boebert. Not at all. That ain't gonna work for me, Lauren. The big problem I have is that we got the news that she got kicked out. Everything happening in the country is political, crazy. I understand people rush to wondering, like, did she get kicked out because she's MAGA? And Lauren Boebert didn't say anything. It's a populist movement, Lauren. Nobody cares that you're vaping. Nobody even cares that you're acting a fool as long as you go into that pit of that snake pit that's DC and you're fighting for our rights, like you put your neck on the line to hold out on the speaker vote and you might need to do it again. I don't care if you're vaping. I don't care if your man's feeling up on your new boob job, allegedly. I have no problem with that. I do have a problem with you letting it fester that people were wondering if you got removed under, illegitimate circumstances. All you had to do was say, went out, had a good time, I was wilding, I don't blame them. You didn't even have to talk about you were vaping. I don't blame them for removing me. I'm sorry. And I would have had no problem with it. All I would have been talking about right now would be your boobs. It would be a much more positive discussion. And I agree with Jenna Ellis on this. Jenna Ellis talked about this on X. Let me go to it. So there was a controversy with Kristi Noem as well. I did not look into that one because it was allegedly, it looked like it was, I did not read it at all. I just wasn't, I will eventually, just wasn't interested. This one I was interested in because I'm like, is Denver just kicking out people because they're MAGA now? Like, people are asking, like, is this a civil rights issue now? But obviously it wasn't. It was a Lauren Boebert. I don't know if she was drunk or what, or if she's just drunk on power or her head's getting too big, but she was just wilding. So Jenna Ellis said, affairs, I'm not going to talk about that because that's Kristi Noem, but she said disrespectful juvenile behavior isn't getting attacked from the media and the left. It's very poor decision-making for women who are acting beneath the dignity of their office, and I'm going to apply that just to Lauren Boebert. I agree 100%. I have a huge problem with that. And I said, I think I even replied under here. I don't know if I replied under there. There are people like, are you jealous of her romance? What are you talking about, man? She's acting like a damn idiot. That's where I'm saying, like, we don't have that healthy tension. Bitch, get in line. Act right. You are in Congress representing MAGA. If you don't want to represent MAGA, that's fine. Go be just some random person getting the boobs felt up by a dude, and I won't care. You're in Congress. You're one of the biggest faces. You're bigger than Marjorie Taylor Greene for me now. Marjorie Taylor Greene has been shown to be a fugazi. And you are representing MAGA. Do better. Don't lie about it. It's not a big deal. It wouldn't have been a big deal if you didn't have your spokesperson lying about it and letting it linger out there that you might have been removed under bad circumstances. All you had to do was say, I was having fun, my bad. It wasn't, and make it clear it wasn't about any politics or anything like that. And then I've been good. I'm like, whatever. If she would have done that, we wouldn't even be on there. That's why I said it's a populist movement. It's not like a corporate thing where it's like you get canceled. That fits right with that comment from Nick from RBN. So I'm kind of mad too, Lauren, because if you had just apologized, we would have had the conversation that would have been more worth having. Like, take a look at this. We would have been having this conversation, a much more productive conversation, including the AI Boebert pictures. That's the one I'm always going to. We would have been talking about that. We would have been talking about the AI Boebert. If you haven't seen that, we could have spent more time on it. This picture right here. It actually doesn't look that much off of reality, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, I'm disappointed. It's not going to be like she loses my complete support, but I would prefer to have somebody that represents MAGA better. She had that one comment about Ilhan Omar in the elevator and said something about a bomb or something like that, which was unsavory, just crossing the line. I didn't have a problem with that one as much. I have way more problem with this than that comment. That comment was trying to be funny, cross the line. I believe she apologized for that. This one here, not feeling it. The Freak says raising your arms at a concert is disruptive. She's vaping. Why is she vaping? You're not as important as you think you are, Lauren. I appreciate the courage that you've shown, but in this realm, outside of corporate politics, every person has to be replaceable, or what's going to happen is you're going to end up with AOCs in New York, and they're up on the podium trying to convince New Yorkers who are getting creamed, by immigration. And you're saying, well, it'll be all good as soon as they get a visa. That's your populist leader. If you don't check these people, they work for you. They're in the house too. Don't get comfortable in the house. Replace your ass. Matt Gaetz, all of y'all. You must challenge them or you're going to end up working for them. You're going to have the same thing happened with the populist left where AOC, to me, AOC was actually quality and good when she first got into office and then flipped because nobody tested her. And now it's too late. Don't come out here and let people start speculating like, oh, shoot, there's more civil issues or not unrest, discriminatory type things when it was really you in a dress that's like 2 sizes too tight, a new boob job allegedly, and a man groping you up and you vaping and taking flash photos. That's ridiculous. You're a grown-ass woman. Do better. You're not repping MAGA like that. I have a serious problem with that. I have more of a problem actually with people who are out here saying, well, I stand by Lauren. Bitch, don't stand by her. Stand by what? If she would have apologized for it, then I could have stood by her and say she made a mistake and she straight up owned it and apologized. I'm moving on. Matt Gaetz tweeted like, I stand by her. And I like Alex Brucevic, but Alex, I mean, he's kind of, I think he's in that realm, so he pretty much has to. But Matt Gaetz, like, I stand by Lauren. No, Lauren, I need you to do better. You can stand by Lauren by saying, I stand by Lauren, and I also want her to do better. There was no reason to make this a bigger deal than it needed to be. That's how, if you're really going to stand by her, that's what you would do. Just like this dumbass position they were having by standing by George Santos is the same type of thing. I'm standing by that nigga, that weird ass, corrupt acting ass nigga. I'm not standing by him for what? You gotta keep this movement, man. You can't have people out here doing stuff that's clearly stupid. This is not like Hillary Clinton. That's how you get Joe Biden's. They do these one corrupt thing. Oh, it's okay. It's just Joe. And they do this next corrupt thing. Oh, it's just okay. It's Joe. And then next thing, oh, he's the lesser of two evils. And that's how you get the AOCs, the Jamal Bowmans. You get the Ilhan Omars, Ayanna Presley's.
Middle MAGA.